Now at 5, high school graduation requirements are changing in Kansas. We'll see what will soon be expected of students. Plus, how the city of Joplin managed to hire enough staff to open 2 public pools this summer. And
college presidents get grilled over their handling of student demonstrations over the Israel-Hamas war. I'm Natalie Brand with the school leaders' responses to questions about campus unrest.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
For the first time in 2 decades, Kansas high schoolers will soon have new graduation requirements. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The new requirements start this fall with the oncoming class of 2028. Among the changes, high school seniors will have to complete the free application for federal student aid. But there are options around that. Parents can file a waiver and superintendents can also exempt students. Some 4-state high school administrators believe the changes are positive.
Now we're trying to meet the needs of students. They may have lost some academia, if you will, when they're away from school. So now we're putting structures in school in place, to meet those needs as students come through now.
Mainly, the length requirements on a lot of the things. We've already done the financial literacy. We've already done the health. It's just more how we check that we're doing it properly and make sure we have the length.
The number of credits to graduate remains the same, but some changes to the credits were made. The graduation requirements also include student completion of at least 2 post-secondary assets. You can learn more about the new requirements on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. City of Joplin says it's hired enough staff to open 2 public pools this year. Both the Schiffer-Decker and Cunningham Aquatic Centers will open next Friday, May 31st. They'll both be open 7 days a week from 1 to 6 p.m. and 1 to 8 p.m. on Fridays. In recent years, the city has not been able to hire enough lifeguards to open multiple pools, but this year things are different.
We increased our pay. We are also paying for the lifeguard certification and their uniforms. I think that was a huge part of getting more people. We also added 15-year-olds.
You can learn more about each pool's amenities and prices on our website. 5 8th grade students in Webb City have gone viral on TikTok for their performance during the school's talent show. While we do not have permission to show you the post to TikTok, we do have video from that same performance. The original video posted now has just under 5 million views, more than 800,000 likes. Boys say they were inspired to create the dance for their former math teacher, who they then pulled on stage during the performance to give flowers to.
At what point did you say, I'm going to do this no matter what?
When we walked out.
When I saw the suit.
I think the night I got home and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. My dad said, I don't care, you're doing it. I was like, all right, we're doing this, I guess.
We were having fun. All of us were having fun from the start. Like it didn't feel as much of a practice. It's more of just like, oh, hey, let's hang out after school type thing.
We're going to have more from the boys and their teachers tonight at 6. And KOAM's Anthony Saviello gets in on the action by learning a few of the dance moves, more or less, tonight at 10. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, a warm one for us today as we shot into the mid-80s during the afternoon. We've been dry throughout the day. It looks pretty good right now. It's 83 in Joplin, 84 in Pittsburgh. So we're about 7-8 degrees above our average high. 85 Stockton, 83 Neosho at Grand Lake, 82 in Pittsburgh, 85 in Chanute. We do have those cumulus clouds out there, and we are tracking a few thunderstorms getting going. One right around Oklahoma City, another little cluster moving into western parts of Oklahoma. These are going to head toward us later on tonight, but they're most likely going to fall apart before they make it here. So we're going to keep it dry for right now, but watch them as we slide back through the 70s into the 60s. Big severe weather threat Saturday. We're going to look at that coming up here in a bit.
See you soon. The presidents of UCLA, Rutgers, and Northwestern testified on Capitol Hill about how they handled pro-Palestinian demonstrations on their college campuses. Republican lawmakers accused them of not taking enough action to address the rise in anti-Semitism and concerns from Jewish students who say they felt threatened. Natalie Brand reports from Capitol Hill.
The wave of pro-Palestinian demonstrations that spread across college campuses nationwide took center stage on Capitol Hill Thursday.
The goal is to engage with students to the extent possible.
House Republicans pressed Northwestern University President Michael Schill about Jewish students' claims that encampment protesters harassed them.
I'm asking the question you're required to answer. Isn't it true that a Jewish Northwestern student was assaulted?
We are investigating those allegations.
Committee Chair Republican Virginia Fox criticized Schill as well as Rutgers President Jonathan Holloway for negotiating with students to disband the encampments.
You should be doubly ashamed for capitulating to the anti-Semitic rule breakers.
The battle against anti-Semitism, against bigotry in all of its forms, must be waged with education.
Democrats on the committee defended students' right to peacefully protest and questioned campus crackdowns involving law enforcement. At UCLA, Chancellor Gene Block enlisted the police to help disband encampments, resulting in more than 200 arrests.
This encampment was against policy.
You should be ashamed for letting a peaceful protest gathering get hijacked by an angry mob.
Among demonstrators' core demands that schools divest from companies that do business with Israel.
I would never recommend to the Board of Trustees divestment.
Ezra Pfeffer, who just graduated from Rutgers, attended the hearing and said he wants to see more from his university's leadership.
Comply with their own code of conduct, They make it very clear that they don't tolerate anti-Semitism. Let's see it.
Students say they want an action plan in place before they return in the fall. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
When pressed by Republicans on how many students have been disciplined, the college president said there are investigations still underway. Terrifying video out of Mexico where at least 9 people are dead after a stage collapsed at a political rally. Look at this. At least 81 others are hurt. One of the dead is a child. The stage fell last night with seemingly no warning during a sudden gust of wind in the Mexican state of Nuevo León. Multiple social media videos show the stage, its lights, and a large video screen crashing down toward the crowd. Still ahead, a cutting-edge treatment restores vision to an 11-year-old boy with a genetic eye condition. Plus, the FDA moves a step closer to approving a new blood test to detect colon cancer. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, a simple blood test to detect colon cancer could move a step closer to approval by the FDA. The blood test is called SHIELD. It screens for early signs of colorectal cancer. A panel of expert advisors to the FDA were set to evaluate data on the screening test this week and vote on whether it's safe and effective. If SHIELD receives FDA approval, it'll be the first approved blood screening test for colorectal cancer that meets requirements for Medicare reimbursement. An 11-year-old boy from Michigan has made medical history. He had a cutting-edge treatment to try to restore his vision. Reporter Kelly Vaughn has more.
Yes, Jacob is our little science experiment.
11-year-old Jacob Peckham says trying a first-in-the-world experimental treatment is scary, but worth it.
I want to help people like me because before the surgery and then after it felt like I could experience the world better.
Jacob was born with
retina pigmentosa, CEP290, a genetic eye condition.
His mom and dad say he was a candidate for a new gene editing treatment.
Just knowing that that he could get better, even if it was slightly, I was happy.
They flew to Philadelphia for the procedure.
The study basically delivers this genetic treatment underneath the retina after a surgical procedure. It's an injection.
Basically put a needle in my eye.
And as the weeks went on, his vision improved.
We were just pleasantly surprised that there was a major improvement to this very new therapy, never before used in the eye.
Now I can see farther and clearer.
Through it, he's gotten the confidence to get outside more, to play baseball, and to even ride roller coasters.
Since surgery, a lot of independence came along with it.
The gene editing therapy is now going through the FDA approval process. Kelly Vaughn, CBS News, Warren, Michigan.
That is a look at today's health news. A little later, we've had an active tornado season, but what are the national forecasters expecting for hurricane season?
Plus, we have some more storms in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, it turned out to be a warm one for us today. Temperatures all the way up into the mid-80s during the afternoon. So it was heating up, a little humid out there. A nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, let's look at our temps. Looking good. It's 84 in Fort Scott, 81 Independence, 83 in Veneta, 83 in Anderson. Carthage also sitting at 83. Here's 7th and Rangeline. We got south winds, a little breezy at about 10 to 15, upwards to 20 miles per hour. Through the evening hours, we slide back through the 80s into the 70s, eventually into the 60s later on tonight. But you can see those southerly winds kicking in, sustained 10 to 15. And as we go through the night, we'll have some gusts up there in that kind of 20, 25 mile per hour range. They calm down a little bit tomorrow afternoon, then increase again on Saturday afternoon. So if you're heading to some of the area lakes, just know it's going to be a little bit breezy as we go through the weekend. All right, cumulus clouds out there increasing, especially in our western counties. We are watching for storms to pop up, especially western Oklahoma. You can see a few little guys got going right around Oklahoma City. The atmosphere, it's just not favorable for storms in southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma. So as these try to work in, we'll most likely die. We may get a stray one that sneaks into southeastern Kansas, but in general, I think we mainly stay dry tonight. But here's that storm system that is kicking in. So this is going to give a severe threat mainly to our east tomorrow. Most of us a level 1 out of 5, and this is going to be for some thunderstorms that try to pop up early afternoon, but the greater severe threat is going to be to our east. But as we go into Saturday, whole different story. A level 3 out of 5, at least a level 2 out of 5 on the Missouri side. Now, this is going to be tricky because we're going to have a capped atmosphere. That's warm air aloft, and storms, when they try to build, they have a hard time getting through that cap. If they can get through it, then we could have a very big day on Saturday. All right, here's the storms out to our west tonight. Try to drive in and just fall apart. So I'm not really worried about these. As we go through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, upper 60s to near 70 to start. Scattered thunderstorms early afternoon. We're looking at the noon hour. A few of those could be a little stronger south of I-44, but not really very worried about it. Tomorrow afternoon, right back near 80 for a high. Let's go into Saturday. Saturday starts well. It warms up into the mid-80s, and then here's where we got to watch. Thunderstorms erupt, and if these can get going, will most likely be very severe. Gusty winds, large hail, and strong tornadoes. So this is what we want to watch. And again, this is if it can get through that cap and then drive in Saturday evening, and then the rest of the holiday weekend looks pretty good. All right, so we're going to make Saturday an alert day due to that severe threat. 80 tomorrow, 87 on Saturday. So we pushed 90 before those storms roll in. 84 on Sunday, and then cooler Memorial Day, but nice. 78 could have a stray shower.
Be nice to have a nice Memorial Day. Anyway.
Yes, it will.
One day. Thanks, Doug. Hey, we're in for an active storm season this year, it appears, with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration predicting an above-average 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. NOAA predicts 17 to 25 named storms from June through November, the highest number ever for this May outlook. 18 to 13 are forecasted to become hurricanes, and 4 to 7 could become what they term major hurricanes, with maximum sustained winds of 111 miles per hour. Coming up, as Americans get ready for summer traveling, we're going to see how inflation is impacting vacation plans. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the IRS has extended its free file tax program through 2029. The agency partnered with several tax preparation companies to offer filing software free for taxpayers. This year, nearly 3 million people used that program to file returns. It's a 7.3% increase from last year. Anyone with an adjusted gross income of $79,000 or less is eligible. Your summer vacation plans could hit you right in the wallet. The economy and inflation top the list of very important issues for Americans in a recent CBS News poll. More than half said gas prices are now a hardship or difficult. Chris Van Cleve is in Virginia Beach on one of the busiest travel days for Memorial Day weekend.
Life's a beach for the McLaughlin family this week. Getting an early start on the holiday weekend, they drove a couple of extra hours from Charlotte to Virginia Beach when they spotted a deal.
Get a break from working and stuff, and then it's like just a family thing. You know, you can enjoy just having that time with each other.
Compared to Memorial Day 2023, the overall cost of travel is actually down slightly. Hotel prices inched down while airfare descended nearly 6% and rental car costs slowed by 10%. But vacationing in 2024 still costs you 15% more than before the pandemic. Sally French tracks vacation inflation for NerdWallet.
What's interesting is that travel prices are not up as high as the overall rate. A big factor is airfares in not seeing huge price increases.
But this year, many airlines raised the fees on checked bags.
That could be $5 and then multiply that times 2 for your round trip, multiply that times 4 for your family of 4, and you're seeing that the cost of travel actually does feel like it's going up, even if individual prices are going down.
Going up is the cost of entertainment. Doing things while on vacation rose 3.4%, and all those meals out will cost you more this summer, and nearly 30% more than 2019.
A lot of people won't budget restaurant prices when they're making that initial vacation plan.
With 38.4 million Americans expected to drive to their Memorial Day getaway, gas prices have been dropping for the last month, now hovering around 4 cents more than last year.
Most of the summer this year could be very close to last year. More affordable gas prices well below the records that we saw in 2022, and not a bad time for Americans to hit the road.
Some things you can do. Plan ahead and be flexible, both on the days you travel and where you go. Off-peak days, that can save you some money. Also, factor in all of the eating out when you build the travel budget. That's one of those costs that can sneak up on you when the credit card bill comes. And finally, our travel expert says, don't hold on to your credit card or travel points. Use them to cut your travel costs as you get them, because the only thing those points do is lose value over time. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Virginia Beach.
Volkswagen is voluntarily recalling nearly 80,000 of its ID4 electric SUVs. The National Traffic Safety Administration says it's over display issues. The agency says a software malfunction causes the instrument panel to sporadically reset or not boot at all. The model years affected are 2021 to 2023. Final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the travel alerts ahead of this Memorial Day weekend. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the new graduation requirements for Kansas high schoolers ahead. Plus, Fort Scott Community College announces a new interim president. And several area schools are playing today in state tournaments for baseball and softball, and we're going to break it all down for you. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Hey, it's World Turtle Day. I'm sure that's on your calendar. The shelled reptiles come in a lot of varieties, live in a wide range of habitats. You see them around here all the time. You might see some of those land-loving ones crossing the road this time of year, in fact. According to the Missouri Department of Conservation, there's more to these creatures than meets the eye.
Turtles have been on this planet for about 200 million years. So you think about all the changes that have come to this planet in that time period. Pretty unique that they've been able to hang around that long. So, deserve a little bit of respect for that.
Another fun fact, the gender of some turtle species is determined by the temperature of the ground where the eggs hatch. Some disagreement about the difference between a tortoise and a turtle, and I had to double check it and I still couldn't find unanimous agreement, but apparently my understanding is that all tortoises are turtles. The reverse is not true.
Gotcha. I had one moseying across my driveway this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just waved.
It didn't wave back.
All right, a few isolated thunderstorms for us tonight, but an alert day Saturday for a severe threat.
See you right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.